what's left to say about District 9 that hasn't already been said? Of course, it was one of the smash hit films of the summer, a little science fiction action movie that came out of nowhere and went on to gross over $100 million. The only thing known about it before it came out was that Peter Jackson was producing it. This is all stuff everybody knows. What I think a lot of people don't know about this film is just how violent and intense it is. Now, I'm no stranger to violence. I don't condemn a film for being violent, but I think District 9 took me a little bit by surprise with just how much violence is in it. There's a lot of unpleasant scenery in addition to the violence. A lot of people blowing up, fingernails coming out, teeth being spit out, eating of disgusting things, a lot of mature subject matter. Again, none of this is really a fault with the film. It just might not be what some people are expecting. Ultimately, I've seen District 9 twice now, and my overall impression of the film is that it's a good film. It's not a film that I particularly enjoy watching, though. I can really respect director Neil Blomkamp and what he was able to do on such a small budget. I really respect the fact that the film managed to work in this science fiction story with this political allegory about racism. I can certainly appreciate the incredible special effects and some really great action sequences. But the movie's kind of a chore to get through. It kind of leaves you drained by the end of it. It's very intense, a lot happening, not much of which is pleasant. So it's a good film, but it's not the type of movie that I necessarily think has a lot of repeat viewing value. The second time I watched it on Blu-ray, I definitely had a different reaction from the first time that I did. I felt really, really just kind of beaten up by the end of it. It's actually similar to the feeling I had when I watched The Dark Knight, another movie that is good, that I appreciate a lot about, but I don't particularly enjoy watching. As far as the Blu-ray goes, though, District 9, one of the best I've seen. The picture quality is amazing, especially for a film that has a lower budget. The sweeping shots of Johannesburg are just filled with detail and colors. The prawns look great, and none of the special effects are brought to the forefront in terms of looking cheaper because they're in high definition. Everything looks just as good as it did when you saw it in the movie theaters. In fact, it looks better. The surround sound, fantastic. Like I said, this is an action movie. You will hear a lot of action coming from every direction you can imagine. But throughout it all, dialogue remains clean and clear, which is especially important considering the numerous heavy accents throughout the film. In terms of special features, I can't talk enough about how great this disc is. You get a number of behind-the-scenes features. You get deleted scenes. You get a director's commentary. A filmmaker's log, which is a 3-part documentary on the making of the film, Metamorphosis, the transformation of Vicus, which is a featurette on kind of the makeup and everything, changing Vicus from the character he starts out as to the one he becomes by the end of the film. Innovation, acting, and improvisation. A lot of this film was improvised, and this kind of takes you through that. Improvised in terms of the scripting. Conception and design, creating the world of District 9 is an interesting feature. And finally, alien generation visual effects, which is of course something people are going to be interested in because the visual effects are one of the most memorable parts of this film. In addition, you get a number of Blu-ray exclusives, including Joburg from Above, which is an interactive map with satellite imagery and schematics of the entire world of District 9. You also get the Movie IQ, which is Sony's live, connecting you to real-time information about things such as cast and locations and stuff like that. There's a God of War 3 playable game demo for PlayStation 3, and then there's a digital copy of the film. So this is a Blu-ray that is completely loaded with extra features. If you're a fan of the film, you absolutely need to own this Blu-ray. And I can't say I'm not a fan of the film, but again, it's not the type of movie that I'm going to pop in every Friday night and watch over and over and over again. It's very intense. It's very well made. It's certainly very interesting, but it's one of those movies that maybe I only need to see every few years or so at most.